But it is a good Wednesday. It is not too hot. It is not too cold. It is a mere 56 degrees here, Fahrenheit, in the parking lot this morning. Uh, the reason why I said here come the fair weather fans or whatever, because there are certain individuals we all know and love who somehow got to represent the show in various ways. Who, when their production or whatever got halted because Chibs came in, or it was probably a BBC decision to shit can their show, but Chibs, of course, took the blame, like he took the blame for everything, including the clap. Meanwhile, you got other people out there, thinking they invented the question mark, things like that. But, hang on. I forgot my window's wide open. Everyone's sitting out there going, why is he in there talking to himself? Maybe we should go get security. But some pictures have come out, of course, from the premiere. And sure enough, guess who happens to be there? Somebody just mentioned the name that it's more than likely could be them. Hint, hint. Yeah, this is the person who, when their show got canned, disappeared into the sub-ether. Let's just say I know people who know people, and we'll say allegedly just to be safe. This person was allegedly talking smack about the show, was up, basically chewing on Chibnall's ass more than a pariah dog in public. And at the time when the first female doctor was there, you'd think this person would have been on top of it. This person who thinks they're the great activist and blah, 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 the great motivator and such, but no. Ironically, talked shit. Allegedly. You notice I use that word a lot these days, because even if it's the truth, it's alleged. Besides, I don't want to drag the other people's names in here who told me this stuff. Everybody thinks they're safe and secure. I have agents everywhere. Oh, sorry. The close-up mode got stuck. Yeah, and now they're going to premieres. It's like, where were you in the show? When the show needed you the most? It's funny, the show's down on the mat. Why weren't you tagging in to help? When people were openly attacking the show, where were you? You were sitting there being their private cheerleader. You were that little paper shaker behind the enemy lines, keeping yourself out of sight. And then sure enough, now they're back on podcasts. Now they're getting invited to premieres again. And I can't believe this. I'm like, yeah, I am a jealous bastard. I'll admit to you openly, but I'm like, why the hell is this person there? Somebody who has never been on screen on the show, yet they're going to cons and charging for autographs. That's right. This person, their name has been mentioned multiple times before, has been going to cons and charging for autographs. That'd be like me going to a con and charging for an autograph. But as I said, where were you when the first female doctor needed you? Where were you when when the Chibs needed you? The guy who stepped in to keep the show from being canceled and put on hiatus? Yep. Certain people have appeared at certain public functions and charged people for autographs. Had their own little thing at a table like they've done shit. And expecting free things to be thrown at me for what? As I said, when I first began this journey, and I knew from the beginning I'm going to be the barnacle on the bottom of a ship I'll never be a passenger on. And I still hold that view. I just find it ironic that the ones who, have shat on this show more than a pigeon on a statue, or a whole flock of pigeons on certain statues, is being invited to all these functions again. And I'm like, but what can you do? It's this. I'll put it to you this way: this is the person who, when they were part of a certain, team for a magazine that we all know, actually had it right there in black and white. I usually watch the classic show at 1.5 speed for research. Talk about, why don't you just squat and piss all over it? It's. Well, Fallout Shelter, I can't remember if that is. I know there's certain games that have been accepted into the canon of the show. God, here I am. I'm talking about canon as far as Fallout goes. But others have been, thrown out. So I don't know. I'd have to look that one up. But I kind of gave up on games for the tablet, games for the phones, and things like that. No, canon and Fallout, as for the Fallout Shelter, I mean. I agree with that. That person's not a real fan. They're just an attention whore. No, there were certain other PC games that came out that were. Yeah, Shelter, I think, is the only one, that's available for the phone and stuff like that. Or I might be confusing it with, like, Brotherhood of Steel. I can't remember which one of the other ones, but. But I'm not going to preach about canon because there's too many people that do that on too many different shows anyway. But I just thought I'd bring that up, that, how now that RTD's back and all that, certain people have resurfaced, it's like, where were you the last few years? Oh, we're back, someone has declared. Doctor Who never went anywhere. We're wondering where you've been. Oh, God, Limp Dickett. Oh, God. There was, like, I think maybe one song by Limp Dickett that I liked, and I can't remember what it was. No, like I said, I haven't played 3 or I tried New Vegas, but I just couldn't get the system. It's like, it's supposed to be basically the same system. Yeah, they canceled Farzar. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah. I feel kind of bad for O'Gwen and the guys who do all those shows, because they do a few seasons and then they cancel them if they get too risque. It's like the show was risque from the beginning. I died laughing because Brickleberry is now on Disney Plus and Hulu. Brickleberry is on Disney Plus. I can't help but thinking how much of that show they must have edited the shit out of it. And the sad thing is, that's another thing I don't like about shows getting put on certain streaming services, because bits get edited out. It's like when I watched TNG on Netflix, and there are certain episodes where certain moments, and I'm sitting there and I know I didn't Mandela affect this shit. Entire scene's gone. Well, Hawaii was. I never got into NCIS Hawaii. I really didn't. I'm like, yay, we're trying to do the reverse Gibbs. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. And it's like, I just couldn't get into it. Just as like I can't figure out how Los Angeles hung out for so long. I couldn't make it halfway, I think, to the first season of Los Angeles. New Orleans I loved, and they canceled it. And of course, NCIS Red never made it past the pilot stage due to some legal issues. I'd have to look that up again, but it had a lot to do with the show's creator not getting it, to submit approval and all that, and something like that. Well, the Magnum PI reboot to me was why. Higgins is now a hot-looking chick who used to be SAS. I'm sorry, but when I saw Higgins back in the day, it was this really cool guy, and now I can't remember the actor's name. Great. He was also in Blazing Saddles and some other things. And then they replaced him with, it's like, I go to watch it, I think I made it partway to the first episode. I'm like, wow, Higgins got a nice set of boobs. That's Higgins? Higgins was kind of like a mystery character. And, now they've not only gender swapped them, I'm like, why do we have to do that? Why not create an original character, put them into the show? Well, I don't know what's going on with that, but one of the first things I couldn't figure out from NCIS Hawaii, maybe I'm wrong, I'm going off the brain box here, but why weren't they based out of Pearl Harbor? That's where the naval base is. Maybe I missed a bit. I don't know. Yeah, I heard the new Quantum Leap's already canceled. The problem is, instead of creating anything original anymore, they keep going back to the well and seeing what trust me, I already expect there'll be a revival of Kolchak the Night Stalker, and they'll dig that up and try to sell it as a supernatural series. And why they did that damn supernatural prequel series, I cannot figure out for the life of me. Oh yeah, it's a Lion King prequel, Mufasa. Who gives a shit? It's going to basically be the same story as Simba, ain't it? It's like, which, by the way, is just happily, once again, very, very similar to another series that happened before that was animated, I believe, with a young lion named Kimba, I think it was, and stuff like that. And like they made fun of that on The Simpsons and a few other places. Back when The Simpsons was funny. Which I can't figure out for the life of me why they're still dragging that zombie along the road. I quit watching that decades ago, literally. I'm shocked Bob's Burgers has made it as far as I like Bob's Burgers, but I haven't watched it in a while either. Yeah, everything's going to have a prequel, you see, because we're fully justified to tell the beginnings of someone else's characters. Yeah, I did watch part of the Ducky tribute. I was really saddened that the only person who came back for that particular episode was Michael Weatherly. You're telling me that Gibbs wouldn't have shown up? The guy's I wanted to say a goddamn executive producer of the show. Mark Herman couldn't show up as Gibbs for, the funeral scene or something like that. Or better yet, where was, they're probably still not talking to Polly Perrette, but you think Abby would have been one of the first ones there, for a return for Ducky. Nope. But of course, they had Michael Weatherly show it because apparently there's going to be a way called a DiNozzo and Ziva spinoff, allegedly. But okay, folks, I've been rambling on for a few minutes now. I'm going to get off here because I'm a little bit past my usual time to be gone. So take care out there. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you all on the flip side. Take care, everyone. Have a great one.